I'm a Kolo Lindsay with Polo Nui Hue and wear many different hats, also with Maui Cultural Landscape. In 2020, I was the po'o of the network. My responsibility was to help to plan the gathering that we were having in March. So when we planned it, everything was ready to go. We pulled the trigger, we bought tickets, we bought ferry tickets, plane tickets, got everything reserved, had a big tent in the yard, everything, because it was going to be held at Polonui, my family's backyard. As we were getting ready to have everybody come in, we were seeing that week COVID thing. And as people were getting sick and the thing was kind of moving like wildfire, it was the day before our gathering in March, mid-March, where we had to make the hard decision to not have our gathering because things were just blowing up around us. And with an abundance of caution, we decided it was best left to cancel this gathering so that, just to keep everybody safe. Well, we thought, short term, couple weeks, good to go, back to normal. No, shut down, everything got shut down. So we had to adapt. But every project had to basically stop because you couldn't have face-to-face meetings. But COVID forced us to go utilize technology as a means to communicate, as a means to have that face-to-face time that was lacking. In a true, meaningful face-to-face time, that's the next best thing. So,
Claudia Kalaola, born and raised Hana, and I've been doing this resource management work with the community. Love it. Well, in 2020, going to the annual meeting, Uncle Pat and I were headed to Lahaina, and just before we got to Malaya was like phone call, canceled, due to COVID. Ekolu was po'o at that time, and then I was up next with Namamu. So when we had the annual meeting and the changeover, it wasn't the same, it was not the same. Okay, normally we would have an annual meeting, and at that meeting there would be an exchange of the po'o, or the head of the network, and that person would be from each one of the participating communities. And at our annual meeting we would change over. Throughout the year we would have a bi-annual meeting, and at those meetings, it was such a great opportunity for all of us to get together, because it meant bringing all these communities and the people that work within those communities to manage, their resources together and exchange experiences, update what kind of projects you have going, and just get together, talk story, and catch up. But at that time when I took over the po'o, we had a meeting. We had, the words, the speeches, and whatnot, what we're gonna be doing, planning, and everything. But then as soon as the Zoom was pow, I was like, oh wow, oh shucks. So for me, that kind of was like, okay, so how are we gonna make this year one that fulfills our mission of gathering, because that's what we do. We gather and we share. So we had to come up with ways that we could really stay connected, and to make sure that we weather this storm of COVID. And so we did that. We came up with this whole thing about the speaker series. That was brilliant. How else do you reach so much people during that shutdown, lockdown period? it helped us as a network to continue our outreach, and it also helped the people that have had the honor of being the presenters, sharing their work. The goal of the speaker series, I think, for me, was to fulfill the network's objective to bring together, to still be able to bring together communities, even though we couldn't gather. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. And I can't tell you how great a feeling of accomplishment it is that this is finally happening, especially all of the work that's gone into it. So, yay!
My name is Javier Kinney. I'm a Yurok tribal citizen.
Aloha mai kako o ka imi ko inoa no ko au mi miloli'i.
Wao no Laila ka upu ko inoa.
For the introduction, I'm Pelika Andrade.
Hi everyone, my name is Hank. I'm with Namamo Molea.
Welcome you to fly and join me.
Thank you to the Maui Nui Makai network for having me on this talk today.
Aloha, Maui.
Aloha everyone, it's good to see some of your faces and just familiar names again.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Miley Shannon of Wailukusi MMA, one of the founding members and current po'o of Maui Nui Makai Network. Our Malama Ike Kai speaker series has given us the ability and opportunity to connect throughout COVID with the assistance of technology. It has enabled us to spread the message of Makai awareness both near and far, from here in the Pai'aina to the mainland.
So the speaker series is a way for us to get our voice out, but also a way for us to listen what was being done. So with our first speaker being Javier Kinney with the Yurok tribe and First Nations, I think it was an important way for us to understand what other indigenous cultures are doing and how they're doing it to become successful.
If you don't know the Yurok people, we are a land, water, and a prayer people. There's no more river, or there's no more fish, there's no more Yurok people.
Well, we tried to find communities that either did light work, that were going through like a CBSFA. We wanted to highlight the work that they were doing, and perhaps by highlighting their work, we could garner support for their efforts.
The goal of the CBSFA and our proposed management plan was to sustainably support the consumptive needs of the Ha'ena people through culturally rooted, community-based management that recognizes and responds to the connection between land and sea and strives to restore the necessary balance of our native species.
An aha moment that I just, was like, yes, was when Kehao and Uncle Mac were on, and they had this poster, Indigenous and Ingenious. I thought that was like, let's blow that up.
The title of our talk tonight, Indigenous equals Ingenious. Kanaka Science to support Aloha Aina.
Kenya, we are facing critical threats in terms of overfishing.
When I was a kid, we'd go diving and there'd be fish everywhere. The sound of the uhu scraping the reef was deafening. But when the road was built, within the first 6 months, there was a major drop in fish, and it's been a steady decline ever since. Kekalike Tomich, Kama'aina of Ka'upulehu.
For the Ha'ena community, our fisheries is just a small piece of the bigger puzzle of what we're trying to do, and that is perpetuating our cultural practices, getting our next generation involved.
Our kuleana includes the near-shore waters of the Ahupua'a, of Ka'upulehu, and Kuki'o.
For us, that land bank is what we do and why we do it.
Because I'm gonna take stuff out of the ocean. Yeah. I like to know how I can go back again and collect the same stuff.
What is your Aloha Aina practice, and what does regeneration look like for you?
One of the most important things is that transmission of intergenerational knowledge. That is really what drives us, is that the uncles have put in so much work and the work cannot be carried on if we are not constantly involving our next generation.
Our goal is to return productive and sustainable subsistence fishing to our home. So we try wait. By resting the reef for 10 years, we're restoring abundance to Ka'upulehu and growing food for our future.
We're trying to get it all back. And again, when you tell people, well, 1.5 million is a lot of acres, we tell them we're not going anywhere.
We can choose to aloha ike kahi.
Ha'ena to me is a definition of Aina Momona, and it is my kuleana to protect and perpetuate it.
Is that we cannot do this alone. So partnerships are key.
We do it because fishing pono is not only ono, it is to be immersed in beauty.
We're all in this va'a together, and we're gonna make them.
Educating our little ones and building them to become stewards and leaders of our community.
He said, in my 30 plus years of community service, it was one of the most moving things to see a group of community members come together in support for something rather than against something.
Enjoy having these series, and we enjoy inviting the communities that our sister communities that do the work.
Just like say mahalo for everybody.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Mahalo nui, everybody, and I just want to mahalo nui the Maui Nui Makai Network.
We say mahalo and aloha nui.
Just being connected with Maui Nui Makai Network has improved a lot.
So I just do want to encourage you to keep praying, keep dancing, and keep singing.
Have a good night.
Aloha. Aloha, you folks. Thank you.
Ahiho.
Connections are the life force that drive us to continue our work. My vision for the network is to continued success in engaging, assisting, and enabling communities to perform the work they do to Malama Aina.
I think that the network is even stronger than it was before COVID. I think we fulfilled what we wanted to do with the series, and I hope that we continue.